Is this the fucking mic? This is exactly what I should be doing.
Drop intro. What's up, and welcome to this week's episode of The Drop, your weekly source for all things NFT and crypto art, as well as upcoming drops by notable people in the Mograph industry. I'm Matt Milstead. Joining me, as always, is Dave Koss. Also joining us this week, Mark Cernosia. Let's get into our list of stuff going on. Nifty is doing a good job of keeping their amount of people down. I'm really liking what Nifty's doing lately. And we'll get into certain things. So I noticed trends, in the NFT space a lot. Like someone will start doing this and then everyone else will jump on the train. Like the big trend, there's two big trends going on. One, collectibles, which we'll get into in a little bit, and two, burning, your NFTs and stuff like that. I think like burning NFTs are like the big thing right now. So and I think there's a few drops this week where you're burning NFTs, and on Nifty Gateway.
Scarcity,
absolutely, and that's good. I think that's great. There was a big rush of people to get into the NFT space back in March. Boat Mograph. Yeah. So. I think the burning stuff is pretty cool. So first up today, we've got Bill Ellis. Bill Ellis is doing a drop on Nifty, and I think this is a burning one.
September 20th.
I believe you burned
pretty.
some of your items for more items or something. Another begins in one chapter. Yeah,
nice. So clean.
I
All
love
the
Bill
skulls.
Ellis's work.
Yeah,
I
his
think
stuff
it's
is
so
dope.
cool.
Yeah.
Super
What was up with the shot of the alcohol there? Like, what's going on there?
I have no idea.
Is it like it's like a mock whiskey ad or something?
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
It's interesting.
I bet they have, since it's going on today. You could probably look on Nifty
Gosh,
Gateway.
that's so clean.
Mm.
Collectors
Oh,
only.
so pretty. Oh yeah,
God,
so
good.
that's also another thing that they're doing is the collectors only drops. So I know Brilly did one last week, and I'm sad that we didn't get to shill it on the show or whatever. But like, yeah, it was a collector only drop. Oh my gosh, these pieces are gorgeous.
What else you got?
Okay, yeah, so that's Bill Ellis. That's going on tonight. Next up tomorrow, Exulo, I believe is how you pronounce it. These ones are beautiful. I love these ones. This is just an example of some of the art. I don't know much about Exulo, but these are a couple of the pieces that are going to be dropped tomorrow on Nifty Gateway. Super cool. And then 922, Miss Al Simpson is doing a drop. This is Crypto Babes. I don't know anything about Miss Al Simpson, so I don't.
Is this music related?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think this digital graffiti. Yeah, I don't know. So interested to see that, I guess. 923. There's two drops that night. First that evening. First one is Andrea Bonacito, I believe is how you pronounce. I'm not really sure what it's about,
Oh, there's
because some of the previews and stuff like that, they don't really show. It's just
well, there's a couple there.
There you go. So some of these little like very colorful pieces, stuff like that, look pretty cool. Next one for that same day on the 23rd is Perry Cooper. Ooh, I really like Perry Cooper's work. Super, super Mography and stuff like that. A bunch of these little, right? I love the textures. I think they're very cool.
Yeah,
so
really
there's a
cool.
whole bunch of different pieces. I don't know if you can go to Perry Cooper's Twitter, just the Twitter. Yeah, click on them.
Yeah.
You can see, those are the same types of pieces and stuff. Really cool stuff. I really like that. And then 924, September 24th, A Lot of Money is doing a drop. A lot of money. And it's a collectors only drop. It's got some eyeballs and stuff. It doesn't show much, but I don't know. Could
Looks like a
be
teaser.
cool.
Yeah.
Right.
So are a
It's
lot of the
teaser.
for collector only drops ones where like you have to burn to get one?
No, so for collectors only, for collectors only are ones where if you have one of their previous works, only those people who have those previous works can actually bid on their stuff, which is cool. Like, and it's for those ones that are like drawings and stuff like that. I was able to pick up one of Blake Catherine's because it was for collectors only, and I had 3 of her pieces. So I was able to, enter the drawing 3 times, which was really cool. Ended up winning one of her pieces for only $300, and I think the floor right now is like almost 4,000 for that one, which is pretty sweet. Yeah. So that's it for Nifty Gateway. Next up, we got Maker's Place. We got 3 really cool artists dropping this week, and it's interesting. So the first one is a collab between Boss Logic and Shakira. Which is pretty rad.
Do I have the? Is this right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So these
okay.
ethereal girl female fantasy women NFTs are pretty popular in the space right now. I know Chelsea Ariev has been doing a bunch of these, and they look really good and stuff like that. And there's a lot in that space. Very that same style, and I thought it looked really good. Next up, you got Hackatoo. Hackatoo's been around for since the space started, and has done a bunch of stuff on Nifty as well. So really well-known artist within the industry. Last up, I'm super excited about this one. As stupid as it is, T-Pain is doing a drop on Maker's Place, and like you hear T-Pain, and like you're like, okay, that's fine. I want to know what studio he worked with, because these ones are freaking rad.
Yeah.
So good.
It looks like more than just like a
it doesn't look like
empty,
it doesn't look
soulless
like
NFT.
a soulless NFT. There you go.
Yeah.
Like, this is sweet.
Yeah,
This
look
is
at that.
super sweet.
God,
And
look at that skull.
I think like that part right there. Oh, so cool.
Yeah.
I think this has something to do with dropping like an album as well. If you read the description, it talks about dropping a new released album or something like that, which is pretty cool. I think that's really cool. I love T-Pain. I started following him on TikTok, and his podcast is very funny.
Oh, I need to check that
I
out.
really like T-Pain.
Yeah.
He's a very and super talented dude. So
you should. There's a documentary. I think it's either on Netflix or on Apple TV. It's a music documentary, docu-series, and there's one part on auto-tune, and they interview T-Pain, right? And like
Of course.
how he like started this thing, and how the backlash of auto-tune to him, and how all these artists are like, you're ruining music, and like all this stuff. It's just how he had to process it, and like the mental health stuff he went through.
Sure.
It's actually very interesting. It gave me a whole new respect for T-Pain.
Which is hilarious to me, because T-Pain is an incredibly talented singer. Like, he won the Masked Singer the first year or whatever,
I
first
didn't
or
even know
second
that.
year.
That's funny.
Yeah, he was the winner. And it's like he is a very, very talented singer. He doesn't need to use auto-tune.
That's
but
funny.
he does.
Funny.
Yeah. He was saying he used it just to get like this effect, essentially, and then it just took off, and he was just known as the auto-tune guy.
Yeah, Sarah and Cher did it first.
Cher
She
did it first.
Totally.
Exactly.
Yeah, Cher is the one I remember.
I want to say Kid Rock also did an auto-tune one as well for one of his first albums or something. I remember hearing that back in high school.
We got some community drops too, and I wanted to mention, but before we go into that, I did notice going through TikTok that Lil Nas X was promoting his new album.
Yeah, I really like Lil Nas X.
Yeah, I do too. He's pregnant. Did he have his baby yet?
I wasn't sure about him at first, but like I dig him.
Did he have his baby?
I don't know if he had
Remember
his baby yet.
He's been posting on TikTok with the pregnant stomach. Yeah, I want to know.
He was pregnant by the devil, right?
Is that how it happened?
I don't know. He said he let the devil smash once, and
that's
then,
true.
You know.
I saw that one. Yeah, and But I noticed he was talking about it, and he was holding the album, and I'm pretty sure it was stuff that Blake did. It's pretty
Absolutely, yeah,
unmistakable.
it was Blake. It was Blake, totally.
Yeah.
Like that's so rad. Like I know they had collaborated on some stuff. Like he had hired her to do some stuff for him for like, concert visuals and stuff like that. The first time I met Blake, I told her about how much I liked those visuals and stuff, and I fell in love with her style seeing that first initial thing, and then like, I mean, she has blown up since, you know. And you can just tell her style, and as soon as we saw those, we're like, that's
gotta be it.
Well, and that's what was cool too about Camp Mograph this year was that all these NFT like kind of superstars that have spawned out of the motion graphics industry, like everyone was already like had a ticket and stuff, and so like all of a sudden we're all hanging out.
Yep.
And I'm looking around, I'm like, wow, what is the net worth of all the campers?
Right.
Like,
even without Winkleman.
Yeah. Without Winkleman.
Yeah. It's just great to see motion designers like getting other ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I also wanted to talk about Ryan Talbot's piece. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Look at this. I saw this and I was like, oh my God, that looks so good. And I was, flipping through Instagram. I think I sent it to our Halo group. And I was like, y'all, this is insane. Check this out. And
sold
then,
it for almost $120,000. That's
30
insane.
ETH.
That's so cool.
The next day,
awesome.
30 freaking ETH. So
well, and you know what was cool about Ryan because he was at Camp Mograph this year. He was the first artist when we were going around introducing each other or ourselves in classes. He was the first one to say, "Yeah, I make NFTs."
Right. What do you do?
interesting.
Oh, I make NFTs.
Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, okay. That's first time I've heard that, and probably far
Instead
from
of
the
saying
last.
I'm a motion designer or whatever, it's I make NFTs. That's cool. That's cool.
It was very cool.
Yeah.
There we got an email from somebody.
Yes.
I don't know if you want to read that or do you have that in front of you?
I can read it.
Okay.
Yep. Hello.
Another
I hope you're having a
community.
good week. I've been listening to your Mograph podcast for a while now, and I've been loving the implementation of the drop. Thank you. I'm not too sure how you decide what is featured in the drop. However, I've seen you mention to email if we'd like to drop to be featured. So here I am. Love to be considered for this. Most recent piece will be released 13th of December at 5 p.m. Unknown origin. I've attached a JPEG version of the piece to this email. Feel free to check it out. Link to the piece is here. Do you got that, Dave?
I sure do.
Carla, is it Carla Bately? I hope I'm saying that right. Or Batley. Batley. Yeah. Sharing all the promos for the drop. Twitter is at Carla_Batley. Where she'll be sharing all the promo about the drop. And it has not sold yet, right?
No, December, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, September 13th.
Oh, September.
But we were out. We haven't had a show in a couple weeks. So a little about the whole project. In January, I started a new series of tiny hotels as NFTs. This has been and will continue to be continued project for me. I'm recently feeling that this is my main long-term project to show my growing skills and style as an artist. Each tiny hotel created all take inspiration from different themes, styles, or concepts. Thank you, loving the podcast, and I hope you have a great time at Camp Mograph. Yeah, thank you, thank you, Carla, for the email. That's awesome.
And we'll link to that in the show notes as well.
And this brings up an interesting topic. She was talking about doing a series of, pieces and stuff like that. And this kind of goes into a lot of the things that people have been doing lately, which are these collectibles, and we talked about the visitors a few weeks ago, which the visitors, I believe, are still doing quite well. Let's see. The floor is... Oh, it's at 0.08, which is good. That's almost like twice what we paid for it, which is cool, But yeah, so it's like these little collectibles, like CryptoPunks or the Bored Apes Yacht Club or whatever.
Yeah.
All these things are becoming big. Lirona.
Yeah,
She did a whole set of these
Yeah.
before these got really big. They were like called Boys, BOIS, I believe, and she sold all of hers on Rarible, you know, of all places, and she was one of the top artists for weeks because of this. You know, she got into it really early, and so it's really cool seeing a lot of artists come out and start doing this, and it's really cool. One in particular that's coming out soon, Alexi, I can never.
Ace 5.
Ace 5, yeah, Ace
Yeah.
5 Studios. You know, Alexi is working on this one called boneworld.co.
Something pretty cool.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. I really like these. I like that they're adding the 3D-ness into it, which is really, really cool. So I'm not 100% sure when these are supposed to be dropping.
The metaverse
but,
version of
everyone, yeah, everyone has been doing, all these collectibles have been like 10,000 versions of these collectibles, which is, you know, is cool. So
not like one. So kind of jumping off Alexi's project here. I'm like super into the collectibles that either have a 3D asset or something where obviously you're buying the IP, you're buying commercial rights and stuff, but a lot of these projects too are including a 3D file, like a 3D OBJ or something.
Yeah.
So there's one that I've been buying up called Super Yeti, and they're these cool little Yeti characters. And you can get the models of them. And what I'm starting to think about is how, like, say if we all own these different collectibles, and we have the
website if you want to bring it up.
We have the model, like essentially we could start making, say, like a cartoon or a show.
Absolutely.
And we're all using our IPs. You know, I mean, I think there's so much to explore in this, cool. And like it's, you know, the other kind of profile picture, the PFP type stuff is great, but I really enjoy the ones that you actually get like something that's usable, and you can start essentially making that maybe into like a character for your business or whatever it may be. So. I
love that idea. Like
everybody's IP comes together.
You're like,
show.
oh, okay, I want to create, you know, I want to create a show about Yetis. So I'm gonna buy a whole bunch of these, you know, super Yetis, and then I'm gonna create a show based off of it.
Yeah.
I mean, think about like you essentially could make something like a South Park, right? And everyone has their own character, and you're writing your own whatever it may be. I mean, this is obviously way down the road, but like
you want them to flourish because then
the opportunity there is
more merch.
Pretty big.
Yeah,
that's really cool. That would be really fun.
So it's I like that idea on the collectibles, you know, because, you know, just doing the collectibles, like the visitors, for example, they I don't know, like it was interesting when that was all going down, because it was almost like all the Mographers on the Slack, you know, got into it, and we were all just like buying them just to show off, you know, that we bought them in Slack. It's like, we spent some money too.
To be honest,
you know?
I think that project holds a little bit of weight outside of that too. It's because it was, I believe it was the first like 10,000 PFP project on Polygon, on Matic.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So like, if there's any sort of provenance or anything like that, I mean, that's why I'm holding on to mine. Who knows?
Right.
And
then, with this one, you know, you can take you can take like 2 of them and then recycle them into a completely new one. They're eventually going to get to that, you know, which is neat. So I like these little additions that they're adding to it.
Well, and being part of the Mograph podcast here, and the drop being a section of that, I think, you know, it would behoove all of us animators to look into these different projects outside of just collecting, and as a collector, and actually trying to work with some of these projects, because I've talked to the Super Yeti people, and they don't have anyone animating the Yetis, and I'm like, I can do that, you know, or I think there's so much room for a motion graphics artist to essentially partner and work with these companies to allow them, afford them better marketing material and all that. But it's a whole other avenue for us to get into NFTs other than selling our own art. You know,
and also that you can revenue share.
Interesting idea, because it's like, what if you buy these NFTs, right? The Super Yetis, you do an animation with them, and then you sell that animation as an NFT. But it's like you own the rights to that immediately. But what happens if you ever sell that Super Yeti? You know?
Yeah.
Do you lose the rights to be able to sell that as an NFT or whatever? It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, but there's just so much, right? All the derivatives that you can do and animation. I mean, I think it's just getting scratched the surface right now. And I think there's a lot of things to explore as artists and as ways that we can almost partner with these other projects, because they're on the dev side and the design side. We can bring in animation and all of a sudden step up their marketing and all that. And you've seen some of it, like that Mechaverse project.
Mechaverse looks so cool. That's
coming from like
sell
Motion
out like
Graphics
that,
people, right?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is too.
And you can tell. I mean, they're sick and they animate really nice and have different things to them. So I think there's a lot of room for us to help out and get even more involved with these projects other than just being a collector.
Yeah, and like Jen asks in the chat, would the animators get a cut of the profit? I think that's what's great is you could do smart contracts and things that all tie into all of this so that it's a guarantee. You know,
I mean, think about it. Like if you were in the right place at the right time and you're like, hey, let me animate those 2 apes for you.
Yeah.
In return, I just want 2 apes.
Yeah.
And like maybe that started out as like $1,000 and you're like, well, cool. It's fun for a little weekend project. And now you're sitting on 200K or something, you know, like I think there's a lot of room for collaboration, for work and to kind of interject our skills into this space more than just art.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Paul has a drop as well.
Yes. Paul Robinson.
Paul Robinson.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Paul Babb. I was like, I love it.
Someday that would be fun. Yeah, Paul Robinson. This is on Twitter here. This one is it doesn't have a name yet. It just says get ready.
The same bot character.
9/25/21. So just keep that in mind. Put a link for that in the show notes as well. So.
Nice.
I mean, you look at all these promos that like people that we know of from the motion graphics community are making, right? And then you see some other promos for some of these big projects and it's just a JPEG. Right? Like that's what I'm saying. Like there's so much like stuff that we could bring to these projects to help elevate it, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh boy.
Oh, look who it is.
Hey there.
Hello, Dorpy.
How's it going? I'm back from camp. Back from Camp Mograph. I'm feeling inspired. I doggy paddled in the water a little bit, and I ate some chili dogs. So, yeah. You
Roughing
guys...
it out there, huh?
Yeah, it was
fun.
Those
chili dogs were delicious.
They were good. You guys told me it would be fun there, and you were right. You were spot on. Yeah. Did you see all the squirrels running around there too?
I did, yes.
Yeah, it was great. They were delicious. Yeah, so anyway, I gotta go. I got some spooky renders I gotta start working on for Halloween. It's just around the corner. And I'm gonna go get myself a pumpkin spice latte.
Ooh, nice.
Okay, bye.
There. The number of times you and I over the past few weeks have gone, okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Anything else for the drop? Are we done with the drop?
I think we're done with the drop. Let's get back into the actual show. If y'all have any NFTs that you're dropping for the week, make sure to email us info@mograph.com and we will show them on the show.
Totally. All right, let's get out of here.
Drop. Is this the fucking mic drop? This is exactly what I should be doing.